Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Formula Virtual Racing. 'Tis the season for some roaring race cars. We have got some fantastic action here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the Red Bull Ring in the Styrian Hills near Austria. We have got a fabulous grid made up of mostly main drivers. We'll have Jürgen's Mayer joining. Will be 20 representatives on the grid here for this evening. And it should be an absolute fantastic race. And there is a fantastic and new fan favourite joining me for this evening. It's Mr. Kyle Davis. Kyle, how are you doing?
Hello, Evan. I'm back again. It's becoming some sort of a full-time job. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm excited for this race yet again. It's going to be the last race for this year. So some questions to be asked immediately. Who will crown himself that winter champion? There's loads of battles in the top spots. There's Luke Davies with 68 points and Avesta Gobadi with 63 chasing behind. Let's not forget Thomas Main, who's also reserving today, and Legend Rosenberg. I think it's exciting times ahead for this one. And of course, I'm gonna not jinx anyone this time, so I will not be betting on any winners. But yeah, I am excited.
Oh no. Adrian Tisci's out of qualifying in the very early stages at Austria for the second consecutive season. He's crashed heading through the final corner. He did this on the run down towards turn number 5 last season. He crashed out on his outlap. This is also the second time he's done it this season, crashing on his outlap in qualifying. And that's very disappointing if your name is Adrian Tisci, because usually quite quick around the Red Bull Ring here in Austria, but he's out in the very, very early stages, and that is thoroughly disappointing for the young Canadian, who has maybe not had the best of seasons to his standards, but hopefully he can pick up the pieces maybe later on this season. Adrian, of course, is 18th in the championship. He's only got a solitary point on the board, and he'll be looking for something a little bit better, and that's not the way to achieve that.
Definitely not. That is already a poor start to your session. And on a track like this, it's not really that important to have a great qualifying position, but it is still important. It's still going to be less battles if you're way higher up the field. So it is not a great start to his race. So let's hope he fixes that on later on. Jack Redman with the first time, 104.009 as your pole position for now.
Let's get cooking, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Redmond's got the first time on the board. Your new championship leader heads through the Red Bull Mobile curve. Luke Davies is back on top of a Formula Virtual Racing Championship. He's not back on top of a Formula Virtual Racing qualifying leaderboard. Goes a tenth of a second slower than the Irishman. Okay, didn't expect that one. Thought Luke was going to set the pace here this evening. Here comes Tim Den Heyerden rounding through the final couple of corners and across the start-finish line. Let's see what he can do. He's going to go to third. That's 0.3 of a second off. Then there's Leroy Vinchendel, who comes across the start finish line. He goes fourth, a second and 2 off. He's having some issues around this circuit that we are aware of, so he's going to have to try iron them out. Enzo King crosses the line to start his next lap, as here comes Nils Hartl, the German, across the start finish line. He goes to 8th. Thomas Main rounding through the final couple of corners now for the Scuderia Ferrari team, of course, was second in Monaco. He's first here in Austria. Great lap from Thomas Main, 103.8. A decent effort there. Then we're going to have the mighty Legend Rosenberg, who's looking for a little bit of revenge this week. Was leading the Monaco Grand Prix by 17 seconds, and then he crashed out at the Nouvelle Chicane. So Legend, I think it's safe to say that he's going to want some redemption.
Yes, definitely. He needs that redemption. He's, again, with the picky setup there, which steers the car in by braking. So it's really interesting to see how this lap is, because last time he beat pole position by a really big margin. It's going to be a 3.7 this time. It's not that big of a margin, but he is on P1.
It's very close between himself and Thomas Main and Philip Engel, who goes to third. Philip, of course, got a podium in Canada on his debut. He's back here in Austria. And he goes and splits Thomas Main and Jack Redmond, 2 of our Season 1 OGs. Luke Davies is going for a second attempt here. Clearly fancies getting another run on the board, so we'll stick with the young Brit as he heads up through the Niki Lauda curve at turn 1. Luke Davies is, of course, your championship leader. As you can see on your screen, he's getting a slipstream from the Alfa Romeo in front of him. He leads the championship by 5 points over Avesta Gobadi. Then it's Legend Rosenberg, Tyler Davison and Can Dulger. Can, I've got to say, very underrated season from him. He's doing really well in that fight for, I suppose theoretically you could say, best of the rest. Technically he's 6th in points, but because Thomas Main is still a reserve driver, he is classified, or he's not classified in the standings I should say, I imagine he'll probably become a reserve for the last round of the season, so he can guarantee those statistics. But Tyler Davison goes to third. Look how close he is to Thomas Main on the timing beam. Luke Davies, however, is tracking for pole position here because he's just gone purple in the middle sector. The Williams in front gets out of the way. The McLaren, the Red Bull in front, I should say, gets out of the way of the McLaren, and Luke Davies heads in through the Jochen Rindt curve and the Red Bull Mobile curve. Here comes Davies across the start-finish line. He is going to go to pole position here. 1:03.763, but it's instantly beaten by the Ukrainian Vestagobati. Are Vesta and Luke on the pace here, Kyle, or is that maybe just track evolution?
I think it's a bit of both, but Avesta has only done one lap, so this was his first lap. He stayed a little bit longer in the pit, not really noticeably way longer, but he seemed to be confident. Oh, Thomas Main now with it splitting the two. He's in P2 right now. But yeah, track evolution it might be, but for Avesta it's also his first lap, so that is a strong indication of strong pace by him. Legend right now, he's also not that well, he's not that far off pole position, that for sure, but he is far off the positions. He's fourth. There's a really small margin between the top four, and that goes to show the competitiveness right now on Spielberg.
Yes, it is really impressive how close these guys can get to each other. And it is really impressive, actually, to see Vestagobati for another week running, setting the early pace here in qualifying. Now, unfortunately, couldn't keep that early pace last time out in Monte Carlo, and he crashed out in qualifying, but very interesting to see. The man who set the first lap of the day, Jack Redmond, gets his continues his qualifying, gives a bit of continuation. He is on his next lap. There's yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. That's for nothing major, just drivers slowing down and having a little bit of a Saturday evening drive. Jack will not be completing this lap because he's 0.7 of a second down in a 19-second sector, so that's not going to end too well for him. We're still yet to see times from one-time Austrian Grand Prix winner and Austrian native Enzo King, or Endo Friedrich Tufer or something is his full name, but he's done a Renus VK on it, and he's decided he's got to give this a short name for the sake of everything. So Enzo King is the one he's gone for, and Enzo King is, of course, a winner at the Austrian Grand Prix, as we said. He won the Season 5 Austrian Grand Prix, and it was in terrific fashion. He was on the Inters on a dry track and brought it home. Proper Brad Binder style, but the reverse of it. Here comes Julius Gassner across the start-finish line. Main driver for Aston Martin now, of course, is Julius. Alongside Can Dulker, he replaced Matthew Stott, so Julius going to look for a little bit of form here, because unfortunately his most noteworthy thing this season was that disqualification in Canada. Here comes Enzo King running through the final corners, and this is just going to be a banker run. He'll stay bottom of the standings, and he's going to go again.
Yeah, definitely need to see some laps being set, though. Enzo King's really late on setting a banker lap here, and that is a risk, of course, when the session is already so long on the way. You are really not making it easy for yourself. The mistakes you can make in these couple of laps that are coming can end up losing your whole qualification. Notable thing to mention, though, Philip Engel, P6, the reserve driver for the Williams, is doing wonders. That is a really respectable time.
It is. Adrian has actually just messaged me saying, having watched back the replay, I still don't have a clue why I crashed. So Adrian, a little bit perplexed and a little bit disappointed in himself as well. Don't worry, Adrian, if you're watching, we're all cheering you on and hoping for a good race. Enzo King purple in the middle sector. I don't believe that in the slightest, but it is a quite competitive middle trip round this lap as King comes into the right-hander at turn number 9 and then in towards turn number 10 of the Red Bull Mobile curve. Bit slow through there, actually, for Enzo. He'll want to pick up the pace a little bit. That's going to go to 10th, but this is the name behind him, Legend Rosenberg.
Oh,
he's just bloody brilliant, isn't he?
That is again a Monaco lap. That's a once-in-a-lifetime lap that just... Wow.
Although, we're not going to make the same mistakes we did in Monaco, where we hyped him up to ungodly amounts and then he completely bottled it. Tyler Davison goes to 3rd, 0.4 of a second off pole. Luke Davies is on his lap. He was down in the first sector, but only marginally. Nothing he can't recuperate over the duration of the trip around this hilly circuit. 3rd highest elevation change in Formula 1, or 2nd highest, apologies. after Spa is of course, that run from turn number 1 to turn number 3. That is, of course, the Niki Lauda curve up towards Remus of turn number 3. That is a 63.5 metre elevation change, 44.6 in the middle sector for Luke Davies. It's come up purple, but he is down in his time, so I don't believe that in the slightest. Is he going to still push, or is he going to take an early vacation to his pit box? No, still going to give it all in towards the final 2 corners. Oh, cuts it nicely through there. That wasn't half bad from Luke Davies across the final corner, and that is going to give him an improvement. It's not much, but it is enough for a spot over the Belgian of Thomas Main. His arch nemesis, some could say, in Formula Virtual Racing. Let's see what Thomas Main can do in response, because he's coming through the final corner as well. Puts it right to the track limits. Is he able to get the jump over Luke Davies once again? He's going to get the jump over the Vestager-Bardi, Tyler Davison and Luke Davies, because that's good enough for second. However, I think Legend could stay in the garage for the rest of this one and he'd be on pole, unless Vestager-Bardi has something to say about it. He doesn't on this attempt because he's backed off.
Yeah, he has backed off. He was looking quite stable, but he wasn't improving by that much. He was only improving by just about nearly half a tenth there, and that would have been nowhere near Legend's time. I think indeed Legend can go on and hit up the fridge, get some nice chocolate milk for the Christmas feelings, and yeah.
I got a free case of chocolate milk the other day.
Oh,
Haven't tried it yet, but isn't that just brilliant?
I just came back from the best Christmas fair in Belgium, and I enjoyed the chocolate milk over there. That is, he deserves some chocolate milk though, Legend Rosenberg, because that lap is I mean, I would beat it, but that's a good lap. That's a damn good lap.
Tyler has a vendetta against chalky milk drinkers, so might be a bit of rivalry. I can't remember, but I know there's something. Jack Redmond across the line. That's the second row of the grid. That's not a bad effort at all from the Irishman. I got a video sent to me, a check, chilling in his rig, listening to a few tunes before this one. Let me tell you, he's relaxed. He is ready to perform here at the Red Bull Ring. And that lap shows it. Vestager-Bardi, whoever behind him, is improving. 15.9 in the first sector. That's probably Legend Rosenberg pace, because I obviously commentate on more leagues than this absolute, the best one of all time here at FVR. And that is like up there in very competitive first sectors, so we'll wait and see what he can do. Is improving by a tenth of a second, 44.3 in the middle. It looks unstable for Avesta, but I think that is more internet issues rather than his car performing, because his times certainly indicate that he's doing well. There's a wandering Aston Martin that's already blocked him once in this session, heading into the pit lane, but here comes Vestager-Bardi, riding through the final corners. Can he challenge Rosenberg? No, he can't. He lost it all in that final sector, and he goes third, just ahead of Jack Redmond.
Yeah, but he only goes third, and that is a big disappointment for him too, I think, because he was, he was really good on the pace these last few rounds. Same goes for Luke Davies, of course. Let's not forget him. But right now, their main goal was to beat Legend Rosenberg, and I believe Legend Rosenberg is completely gone for redemption here, and he's currently serving it quite well, I should say.
Yeah, that is how it rolls, really. Legend Rosenberg comes in, blitzes the competition, but I don't think this is going to be as simple for him, because we've got 36 laps, and if one of them can stay within DRS of Rosenberg, they're able to challenge him for the rest of the race, but that is easier said than done. But also, just imagine how close this would be, the battle for pole, if Legend wasn't here.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well. There's literally a blink of an eye between P2 and P6, which is amazing to see. So I genuinely think that if Legend has an incident or has a bad start, that he's going to get swarmed by this group and just sticks in the group. And it's one challenge to put on a lap like this, but it is a whole new level of challenge to get out of a group fight with other people. So I think that this race is definitely not over. This might not be as clear of a win as the one in Monaco, and that one wasn't even won. So
yeah, it's funny. This time last week we were all depressed because we were like, he's gonna absolutely crucify everyone. But now we're maybe hopelessly optimistic for the rest of the grid. But here comes Philip Engel. He is on his, what do we presume, final run of the session, but you can easily get 4 runs in Austria. As Philip Engel, bit of a slide through that corner. I was just watching the way the car was going through that curve. Not very natural. He has a weird driving style, but it works for Philip Engel, and I suppose that's maybe like some of the Formula 1 drivers. They might drive a bit different to everybody else, but If it's broke, don't fix it, as they say, in towards the Jochen Rindt curve, as that is Julius Gassner out of the session. He's crashed heading through turn number 4, the Schloss Gold. Here comes Philip Engel across the line. This lap is going to be an improvement. Unfortunately, it's not a positional change for him. And now Thomas Main is going to be the first man to tackle the last runs of the session here, heading up towards turn number 3. He weaved behind a Mercedes for a bit of a slipstream. The Mercedes was like, ha, nope, pulling to the right hand side, you're not getting an ounce of a toe off me. There's a Haas then on the left hand side of Thomas Main, but he's going to come down towards the Slosh Gold. This is where Gassner, of course, crashed out literally moments ago. Thomas, of course, found success for the Scuderia Ferrari team. He became a Constructors' World Champion, or he helped his teammate Danny Hidkamper to a Constructors' World Championship, and his best ever FVR season result in season 1 second in the championship, narrowly missed out on points after the season conclusion at Abu Dhabi, and of course finished second last week in the Ferrari at Monaco. Won the Monaco Grand Prix in a Ferrari a few years ago. Austria, unfortunately, was a DNF, and a DNF only for Thomas Main. But here he comes through the final corner. Is this going to be enough to tackle Rosenberg? No, it's not even close, unfortunately. Jack Redmond sets on his final endeavour here in qualifying. That's disappointing for Thomas, but that makes that lap look even more unbeatable by legend.
It does, and it's not looking good for anyone else on the grid currently battling or even having the hopes of getting on that first spot, on that so important first spot. I do think, however, that this battle is not over for anyone else behind it, as Philip Engel has decided it's enough and he's retired. Loads of people going on the last one as well, so we might see some blocking here as Legend is on the lap right now. Is he improving is the big question. I believe I see a purple sector, meaning he is. And that is even worse.
Well, let's actually just take a look at Jack Redmond heading to the final corner. He's got a little bit of a slipstream from the McLaren in front of him. There goes Redmond. It's the front row of the grid for the Irishman. He's not been on the front row for quite some time, but that's an impressive performance. Thomas actually backed off on that lap to save ERS because he is planning on going again. Gobadi not improving in the first sector. Rosenberg, oh my god, he's found even more time. Rosenberg is about to go into the 102s. This could be truly magical. I don't think we've ever in the history of FVR had a man go into the 102s around Austria. Legend's going to keep it pushing for the Jochen Rindt curve and then in towards turn number 10. Bolts it out of the exit. Doesn't even look as close to the track limits. Rosenberg across the line. Oh, he's improved. He's just about missed the 102s. It's a 103 flat for the mighty Dutchman. Avesta Gobadi is improving in the middle sector because got to remember, in this battle for best of the non-legend runners, every molecule of time matters. Here comes Avesta for the final corner, turn number 10. What can he do in his Mercedes? Is he able to beat Jack on the front row of the grid? He is. He narrowly pips the Irishman, and Avesta Gobadi goes to second. Here comes Davison. Was dead evens in the middle sector. Is he able to challenge Gobadi here at the Red Bull Ring? Davison across the line. No, unfortunately, almost remained dead even. Luke Davies is into the pit lane. It's only going to be a best start for 6th. Jake Marsh on his reserve appearance return goes to 7th, so he still has a little bit of speed around this Red Bull Ring. Thomas Main is going to be the final one of this little group of 6 to cross the start finish line. Where's he going to go? He's going to not improve in the end, and disappointing for him. Marsh crosses the line. He was already backed out, as is Leroy Vinchendel. Morris Stumer is pulling into the pit lane as well, so that is going to be the end of it. It is a familiar face on top of qualifying. He has been on pole for quite a few races this season. However, can he win this one this season? Your order is Rosenberg, Gobadi, Redmond, Main, Davison, Davies, Marsh, Engel, Vinchendel, Enzo King, Nathan Marriott, then it's Tim Denhire, Morris Stumer, Karen Dulker, then it's Borbune, Nils Hartl, Yafan Panguru, Julius Gassner, Jonathan Jurgens-Meyer, and Adrian Tishy. Folks, we will be back for the Formula Virtual Racing Season 11 Austrian Grand Prix after a very short commercial break.
Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his 2nd career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line, out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. The Austrian Grand Prix itself, of course, debuted in 1963 at Zeltwig, but it didn't achieve championship status until 1964, where, of course, the famous Lorenzo Bandini took the Grand Prix win. But Kyle, who's going to take the Grand Prix win here today?
Oh, that's I mean, I could say the boring legend, but things happen just like last week, so I think it's going to be a Gabati.
Oh, that's an interesting prediction. Avesta Gobadi to win, says Kyle Davis. Avesta second in the championship, of course. He's the only man in the top 4 of the championship to not take a win this season. That is including Thomas Main, of course. But can he do it today? 5 red lights here at the Red Bull Ring. And we go racing in Austria. What a launch off the front row from Avesta Gobadi. Legend just about gets up the gears quicker and survives into the first corner. Big dive for Thomas Main in towards turn number 1. He's got the job done on Jack Redman. A fabulous start for him. Can Avesta Gobadi tuck into the slipstream of the Haas Formula 1 car in front and maybe have a go in towards turn number 3? No. Legend gets up the hill quickest. Another dive from Thomas Main. Jack Redman was attacking back, but Thomas Main is up to 3rd. Jack is off the corner very slow, and he is Tyler Davison on his inside, looking for this one down towards the right-hander. Luke Davies could look for this move as well, as there's a little bit of a kerfuffle in the backpack. Big send down the inside for Luke Davies. Jack gives him an exceptionally wide berth, but Jack Redmond comes out on top in this fight. He's lost 2 positions at the start, but still an impressive defensive manoeuvre there on Luke Davies. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer up 3 spots as well. Didn't take part in qualifying, of course, but doing well in 16th position. And Adrian Tushy as well up a spot. Yathan Benguru losing 3, but Legend survives the first lap, and he's going to lead here at Austria.
Yes, he is definitely leading at the moment, but that lead is not far. That lead is not big at all. It is in 1 second for everyone on the grid as he sets the fastest lap. Oh, big back! Big crash at the back.
Whoa! That is it. That's multiple cars gone off. That's 4 to be exact. That's Borpune, Adrian Tushy, Morris Stumer and Yathan Benguru. Big thanks to the cameras for catching that one as ever, Codemasters. But that is 3 cars gone, or 4 cars gone, I should say, right at the back. But look at the tyre splits. It's mediums for your top 3. Tyler, oh, this is getting feisty. Enzo King giving Jake Marsh a bit of a shoulder charge off the circuit there. The 2 Red Bulls are going to go scrapping at it down towards the Schloss Gold at turn number 4. Enzo King stays in front of Leroy Vincendel. Vincendel going to try the old switcheroo. It's not going to work, however, and he sits behind Nathan Marriott, looking to attack his fellow Brit of Jake Marsh, as Tim Den Higher with a big lunge down the inside. Went for both of them there. Tim on the softs is roaring to go here in this one, and he's got the job done on Jake Marsh, mind you. Oh, Tim, bit of a snap mid-corner. Looked like the Haas was going to completely leave the facility and onto the beach there on the left-hand side. That's not how it played out. Tim Den Higher still in 10th place in this one, but that was a bit of a brown seat moment for Tim, you'd have to say. Jake piling on the pressure as well here on the Haas car, but it's not working out for Jake. He's on the hard tyres, forever. That's what we were talking about. The tyres are on your screen now, folks. Julius Gassner, first pitter into the pit lane. Jake, real wobble out of the first corner. This invites Marriott to go for this one. Nathan actually races under a New Zealand licence, so they're not fellow Brits, but I do believe he lives in the United Kingdom. Big lunge down the inside for the Williams. He's almost clobbered into the side of Tim Den Higher there. Got to be careful. Has got the traction on Jake Marsh and the better tyres, and that's Marriott up to 11th.
Yeah, that's a great battle as well between these guys. As you can see, Tim Den Higher is struggling on these tires somehow. He's already being, his pants need to be changed, that's for sure. And his car seems to be snappy already. Also, notable thing to mention is that the guys at the back, it wasn't 4 guys involved, it was 6. 2 guys have continued on though, but they have suffered major time losses at the back. The Alpine boys are struggling out there. In the meantime, the battle in the front has also not changed that much.
Oh, Leroy!
Oh no.
No, he's okay. He's caught it, but we went on board with Leroy Vincendel just as he had to catch his car heading through turn number 9. Almost a bit of a spin. Up the front, however, there's a bit of pace on this
Nicely saved
Mercedes. Because Avesta Gobadi is he's going for the race lead here, and he's got fairly even ERS. When I saw it was close, I thought, oh, Avesta's burned all his battery here, and he's going to be mudded come lap 9. But no, he's actually okay. He's used not a lot of his battery. Thomas has used a fairly substantial amount, as has Tyler, as has Jack. Luke has not, so Luke has gone into full saving mode. But we've got a bit of a train at the front here. This could all kick off. But the thing here is, Avesta and Thomas cannot afford to get fixated on each other, because as soon as you give Legend a breath of fresh air, he's gone. Absolutely gone.
Yeah, that is very true. The common goal these guys in the back should all have is beat Legend. And they're doing quite well by staying in the DRS right now. As you can see, Legend is struggling to get away, and he will struggle to get away. You can even see minor mistakes from the, well, God of Austria, we should say, after that qualification lap. But yes, it is close, and the common enemy is currently at risk of losing that position soon. I don't think Avesta's going to attack right now, but I do think it's going to happen later on as he now plays fit for the long game. Actually, that might change just now. No, he just sticks behind nicely. And that is probably the greater move to do.
A little bit further back, Marriott and Hire's fight still rages on. Marriott up the inside and towards turn number 3. Ten Hire on the outside of the corner now. You can see the Williams. He's actually got the traction on Nathan Marriott, but Marriott is going to try and keep with him and go for the spot here. Tim, of course, was involved in an incident on the exit of turn 3 last season. Got a 5-second time penalty for, in quotation marks, a skill issue, as he's kept the spot here on the Williamsman. The Williamsman now going to try it on the outside. The two Red Bulls swapping and changing in front, and still side by side now through Roche and then in towards the Worth curve. Nathan Marriott, just about keeps it, and no, Marsh gone round in the back. We have had a fatality in that fight. Marriott went off the circuit to avoid the incident. Jake got the power down too early and did spin.
And that is collateral damage of probably just not watching where he's going himself while the battle unfolded ahead. As you can see already, Tim's softs have dropped off completely. He is nowhere compared to Nathan Marriott as he also slides away now. This is probably the track also being very harsh on the drivers at the moment as Jake Marsh enters the pits to fix his damage.
As Luke Davies gets the job done in 5th. I gotta say, keep an eye on Tyler Davison, because he's on the hards and he's keeping good pace here. We have, of course, Newton's conservation of momentum. Right now, we seem to have Legend's conservation of tyres, because...
Big battle between Leroy, Enzo King, and... oh, Jesus, Nathan Marriott is also already close up to these two Red Bulls.
Where's the big battle, Kyle? They're all single file.
No, I swear I saw the battle earlier. The moment I interrupted, they stopped battling, so I was like, no, just keep on battling. But they are really close together again, so possibly a move maybe in turn 4, I'm guessing. Is it turn 4 or turn 3, the big one after the straight?
Is in the right-hand hairpin.
Yeah.
It's turn 3 of Remus.
Oh. How it's called? Remus?
Remus, as the turn they're about to go into... Major Rosenberg loses the race lead to Avesta Gobadi. I don't think he... Oh, Avesta! Completely out of shape. His steering wheel was facing the opposite direction of the corner to try catch the car there. That was a hairy one for Legend Rose, or for Avesta Gobadi, I should say. For Legend Rosenberg, that was a brilliant moment, because that shows that Avesta is already under pressure and he's only in the race lead a matter of seconds.
Yes, and you can also see some breaks in the DRS trains as Thomas Main has also made a mistake and now dropped off the second. He's got it back right now, though. He needs to stay close to Legend to possibly just battle it out. Yellow flag, sector 3. That is Adrian Tichy around again. Same corner.
Oh, no front wing. Oh, and it's going to mean a pit stop for Adrian. However, it's not even going to have to go to that far. Lap 7 and Adrian is unfortunately a lap down in this race. That's an absolute disaster for the second McLaren driver, and I can't unfortunately sugarcoat it because it's not been a good weekend, and it's about to become a worse one for Nathan Marriott, who's off on the grass verge to the left-hand side of the final corner. But you've got to go back up to turn number 3, up the 63.5 metre elevation. Legend Rosenberg has got the run on the Ukrainian, and he's got the job done, and into the race lead once again. Thomas has used an awful lot of ERS here in this one, and I feel if Luke has a run on him, he's going to become a sitting duck, because Luke has got past Tyler Davis. Pardon me, sorry. Yeah, definitely. He is a sitting duck, and he has made a lot of mistakes the last lap around, so he possibly needs to be recharging right now and focus on increasing his consistency, as Jake Mars sets the fastest lap now, a 5.8 there. Obviously, that will be improved later on in the race. Notable thing to also mention is that Tyler's on the hards. He's in P5. He's going to be a tricky one. Strategy-wise, that could be interesting to see where he ends up later on in the race. He's usually a man who has great strategies, and I'm betting on it right now that he has a greater good in his mind right now.
and he might be a threat to everyone else. I'm just saying it right now. He could be a threat.
All you got to do around Austria in terms of strategy is don't do what Luke did last season. As there we go. What did I say? As soon as Luke has one go on Thomas, he's a sitting duck because he's got no battery. Luke Davies is up to third. He's got the traction, has DRS, and has a bucket load of battery to burn. And as Tina Turner once said, burn baby burn, because he is up into third spot, and no problems about that. If I may have got the singer wrong, which I feel I have, please do feel free to correct me.
Well, I'm about to correct you now, though. I'm gonna fact check that later on because I want to hear you sing it after the race. Anyway,
I think
I
think it's a lyric from Proud Mary by Tina Turner.
Is it?
I don't.
Burn, baby, burn.
No.
I can't
No. Hold on, I'm completely wrong. Oh,
you are.
Yeah, burn, baby, burn. Dun, 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 dun. That's the one.
Keep
I'm
going.
of. I don't know. It's just... Liz Rosenberg in the lead of this race by 0.6 of a second over a... No, I don't know. Hold on, I'm googling it now.
I'm enjoying this thoroughly. You can
song by Ash is "Burn Baby Burn." I swear Tina Turner said "Burn Baby Burn" at one point.
She did.
Yes, she did. She did. Disco Inferno by Tina Turner. The first line of it was "Burn Baby Burn."
What?
Yeah,
You
get
have
it.
like a poster of her hanging on the top of your bed.
No, I don't. That's a bit weird. Why would you suggest that?
Because you are weird. And you're a Tina Turner fan, apparently.
Yeah, I am a bit weird, but not that bad. But the music knowledge is absolutely peak here in Formula Virtual Racing. That turned out well, didn't it, Kyle? That whole segment. But anyways, back to the racing.
Credit is due.
Yeah, I knew it. But nonetheless, 0.5 of a second does actually still separate your top two. I feel we're going to have to wait till after the pit stops for a bit of a battle for the lead here. I think these guys are all just going to conserve it from this point. And I also got to say, the two Red Bulls at their home circuit. Red Bull, not necessarily a team that's had an awful lot of success this season. They are, of course, last in the championship, but they're doing quite well in 8th and 9th. It's a decent points haul.
Yes, definitely, and they've been battling with each other as well, showing they have quite a similar pace as the first pitter has just gone in.
Nope.
The soft tires of Tim Den Heijer is completely given live there, and that was 9 laps, and now he's onto the mediums. Is that a good call?
No, they're not going to make the end. As Jack Redmond and Philip Engel battling side by side, Tim might be trying to two-stop in hopes of a safety car. I think that's what he's going to have to do here, is just stay out for as long as he can and goal hang maybe for a safety car a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. As that is a caution. That is Jake Marsh through sector number 1. As I'm not too sure what Jack and Philip are doing. I thought they weren't at full speed.
Yeah, I was about to say it as well. That is probably giving back the position for something earlier, possibly.
I don't know. See, we don't obviously have game audio, or I don't have game audio in my headphones, so we can't hear the cars to know whether they're lifting off or not. But
oh yeah, he did lift.
okay, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe a bit of DRS chicken. Who knows? We have too much of that in FVR. As Vesta breaking the slipstream because he doesn't want to overtake. Oh, that's a yellow flag. That is the second AlphaTauri. That's Morris Schumer, who's... I'm not actually too sure how he's ended up in that position. That's a weird one.
Oh, that could be the exit curb, though. That exit curb sometimes has some sort of weird magic that sends you off into the wall. But he did lose his end plate. That must have been a heavy hit on the curb, which is indeed a weird position to lose your car, and definitely like that. Meantime, there has been a battle between the Red Bulls. Enzo King has taken up the position of Leroy Van Chendel.
Yes, good move for Enzo. But I gotta say, I think the two Red Bulls are just swapping and changing. They're 9 seconds off this lead pack. They're not playing for
just
much
enjoying the race.
in terms of the race, but they are playing for an awful lot in terms of a long run goal. Leroy as well is still getting used to his new equipment. He was also having some trouble to turn number 1. Legend told him, just take it flat out. Not sure you should, but that's probably how Legend is so quick.
That would explain the
maybe
full
hacks,
stance
maybe he's
between
cheating.
P2, but I have never ever thought about going full flat in turn 1.
I lost a race win by spinning through turn 1 on lap 34 of a rival league once. Liam Houseman took the race win.
Liam Houseman won over you?
Yeah, he reminds me of it to this day.
I would too.
It was
That
two. It
is-
was 2 years ago though. So yeah.
No, that is still terrible. That is. I bet Tina Turner would be disappointed. Just letting you know.
Tina Turner died this year, Kyle.
Would be. I said would be. Is not.
Oh, okay.
This is move on.
Anywho, yeah, I think we're just waiting on some pit stops here in terms of this race. Look, it's the season of good times and good moments. Hopefully we can have a few good moments in this goddamn race, but nonetheless, it is still an exciting one. Enzo King, the only Austrian to win the Austrian Grand Prix in Formula Virtual Racing. Niki Lauda, the only Austrian to win a World Championship in Formula 1. Enzo, of course, has not won a World Championship. And I don't think he's going to this season either, unfortunately, for Enzo. But he's back in the Red Bull. He won this race in a Red Bull. And he started the race in very similar fashion. So I say no more, but maybe could be a good omen for Enzo.
QB, but again, these good omens, we had multiple good things about Legends race in Monaco, and let's be real, that ended in horror. So let's not really jinx anyone into any bad stuff. I do have to jinx one guy, and I've promised him I will do it. Niels Hardel, if you're watching this, you're doing super well in this race. Just wanted to get that off my chest, really. A notable thing, though, is the leaders haven't changed positions in any shape or form. They've been glued together. The difference between the two has almost stayed exactly the same, which only means one thing: they're both playing the long game. So we're gonna have to wait until the pit stops to indeed see something unfold, which will be interesting to see. But I believe Legend could have already gotten away, or at least out of the DRS with the pace he has, and he hasn't. So that is a big sign of Avesta's racecraft and pace right now, which is also a good omen for his race.
You saying, let's be real, reminded me to do mine, so if you got a notification, please ignore it. Avesta Gobati is just 0.3 of a second behind us. That's a yellow flag in Sector 3. Sector 3 has not treated Adrian Tishy well here today. And that's very unfortunate for him. But the closest train, I'm very delighted to report, in this field, is the one for the lead. It stretches from 1st to 5th. Keep an eye on Tyler here. He's got very good pace for a man on a worse set of compounded tyres. Now, they will be getting better gradually as the stint goes on, but still. He's been doing quite well here, and he's managed this pace, or managed this race, I should say, and his pace, really, really well. We're getting to that point, however, where hard to the ends becomes possible. It's possible from this point. The ideal lap is about lap 18, 19 to pit, but surely someone's going to go for an undercut here, Kyle. Who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, it's definitely going to be Luke. Luke's already thinking ahead. Vesta is trying to stay close to Legend, and Luke will probably try it first. I guess these guys are in communications together with the party.
Who would you say?
Yeah, Luke Davies.
I know Luke, Tyler, and Jack go together.
Okay. Then
maybe Avesta and Legend. I know they used to, but I don't know.
Yeah, then it's going to be Luke Davies attempting the undercut. That would be the
I
smartest
do know
move.
Avesta very much wants to beat Legend, though. And Tyler and Luke very much want to beat each other. It seems like if you're friends with someone, you want to beat them even more.
It does, and it's going to be really tricky one. Oh, never mind. We're
Legend's
already
in. Legend is into the pit, and Avesta is into the pit lane, and Luke Davies is into the pit lane. Thomas Main carries on. Remember, you got to stay in that white line. That's why you're seeing them go so slowly. They do not want to risk a penalty, especially in a scenario as close as this one, because 5 seconds is going to send you out of the top 6 here. That's how close this race is so far. So let's wait and see. Davison's going for the race lead. Goes for the outside, heading up towards Remus at turn number 3. Tyler Davison leads the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring. Thomas Main is in second. Then it's Philip Engel, Enzo King. Quite crucially, Gobadi is going to come out behind... Sorry, Avesta Gobadi's jumped Legend Rosenberg in the pit lane.
How is that possible?
How has that happened? Legend must have completely messed his clutch release or his turn-in up.
I mean, they were 5/10 behind each other, but I'm sure that must have been more when they entered the pits.
Did he overtake him into the pit lane and we just missed it because we were fixated on something else? I'm not so sure, but whatever happened, it's a masterclass by Mercedes because Avesta is in the provisional race lead after pit stops. But we're going to have to wait and see, because crucially, there's a bit of traffic for these guys in front. That is Enzo King, who's not necessarily been the quickest of the field here today. But he's also, more crucially, not necessarily been the slowest. Could be difficult to get yourself around, as Thomas Main and Philip Enkel both come into the pit lane. That is, of course, the Belgian and the Polishman. They head through turn number 10. Legend right on the back of the Mercedes. This could be a ding-dong. If Avesta can get past Enzo in towards turn number 1, he could leave himself vulnerable here, because he's going to be double slipstream down towards turn number 1. No, Legend gets it done as well. So Legend did not want to sit behind Enzo. Heading through the Niki Lauda curve. Is Rosenberg going to go and try retake his provisional race lead in towards turn number 3? Gaining and gaining as they go up the hill. Legend Rosenberg. No, he doesn't pull alongside the Mercedes. Luke Davies is right behind Enzo King, and Thomas Main is 3.6 seconds behind. Jack Redmond gets past Niels Hartl, as does Philip Engel. Remember, Davison is the only one out here, still out on his old tyres. There's big lunge from Luke Davies on Enzo King. Big lunge from Legend Rosenberg. He leads over Vesta Gobadi. That was Adrian Tishy, which I believe Kyle gave an O, and we got the yellow flag for there.
Yes, definitely. He has got wing damage again. That is a serial killer the last turn. Now Tyler's into the pits. That's a bit early. Ooh, looked up as well. Almost got a penalty, but that is a early pit stop for someone on a hard.
No, that's about right. That is about right. The mediums can do that, because you got to remember, these guys went 17 laps on mediums, and Tyler wants to make the most of it. So he's going to come out of the pit lane. He'll be behind all these.
He's going to do hard medium.
Yeah, he'll be behind all these. Crucially, wants to get ahead of Thomas Main here, or Jack Redmond. He's not going to get ahead of Thomas Main, because Thomas is going to have to shoot out of the corner, and crucially the slipstream, but he will be ahead of Jack Redmond. Gobadi not going to go for the race lead here. It seems like we've returned to a bit of deja vu in the battle for the race lead, but top 3 in the championship, top 3 on the circuit, in backwards order.
See, and that now will prove for interesting things. I do think there's going to be some changes in that, though, as Tyler's on the better tire, so he's going to have a major advantage over all these guys. But the tire drop-off will prove for an even more interesting ending to the race. So this race is not over till the final lap. I mean, we did realize in Monaco that is the case, but right now it's just the same. Legend is not gone away with this at all.
Brendan, who's usually on commentary with us, said home from work to see the Luke Davies downfall live. He is the leader of the Luke Davies fan club. Tyler Davison gets past Enzo King, and that's for 4th position. Niels Hartl picks up a 3-second time, but we've got 5 penalties on the board now. They're for Enzo King, Niels Hartl, Jafan Penguru, Julius Gassner, and Morris Schumer. Here comes Thomas Main looking to get past the Red Bull as well. Is he going to dive him in towards turn 3? This is risky territory for the Ferrari. Enzo just backs off, though. Enzo is goal hanging for a safety car, or should I say for a set of soft compound tyres.
Could be the case. That is really old tire set there. I don't know if he's just gambling on a safety car right now, but this has been quite a clean race, so I doubt there will be safety cars around here, as
usually we get a lot. So that's actually quite a pleasant surprise, maybe.
It is.
I'm sure the stewards will be happy.
A notable thing also to mention is that the first lap was really clean.
Yeah, surprisingly enough. We've got good attendance, and they've been really clean. What is happening to my Formula Virtual Racing? But actually, sorry, I've got to say what's happening in this race. Legend's going to break the DRS here. Avesta has to keep within the DRS, or this race is over.
That is true. He needs to be in this DRS at all times. That is the one thing that prevents Legend from running away with this win. And that is a big influence on the race for Jack Redmond. That is a penalty.
Yeah, that's going to be costly. Luke Davies has fallen out of DRS from Avesta Gobadi. This could become a 2-horse race, and Luke does not have any battery to use. Legend and Avesta do, and that's why Avesta can keep within Legend. This is not looking good for Luke Davies at this point if he wants to try and win this one. I'm sure he'll be very happy with 3rd, because I think mathematically he'd still be the championship leader come Christmas Day, which he said he wants to be last week. And he also said he wasn't afraid to be the best. So now is the time to try be the best, Luke. Let's see what you can produce. But this is going to be very difficult with no DRS.
It is, and the threat from the back is coming right now too. He's gaining quite fast. Tyler Davison, obviously on the better tires, as Adrian Teich gets another 3-second time penalty. It's been a really bad race for him all around. Well, I for sure hope that next round will be better. New year, new hopes, possibly. Anyway, new thing to also mention is that there is another man who decided to not pit yet. That is the Aston Martin driver in P16. He's on 18 lap old hards.
He actually pit in the first lap. Or the second lap after that weird collision through turn 4.
He did. Oh, shoot.
Or
Yeah,
through turn 10, sorry, apologies.
He did. Never mind. That is a...
Still, your point stands. Very old tyres. That won't be feeling nice, and I imagine Borbune is going to dispatch him fairly quickly. Nils Hartel gets the job done on one Alpine, but Jurgens Meyer is going to fight back. There's a Williams in this scrap as well, and it seems like if Nathan Marriott's fighting one driver, he's fighting two in this Grand Prix. Here comes Marriott, tries to slingshot around the outside of Nils Hartel. Brakes for turn number 3. Marriott cuts a little bit of the corner, but I suppose that is still within track limits. Hartel is going to get the better exit here. Hartel's going to try and weave in and out of the two. He's fighting two blue machines in a Ferrari. The red and the blue car had a race down towards turn number 4. Nils Hartel is leading this battle for 12th in towards turn number 4. And I know he's in 12th, but this has been a good race for Nils Hartel.
It has been, relatively to his past races, for sure. As
well, I mean, points are still on the cards because he's on fresh softs.
Yes, I guess, but it is... Let's not call it too early, because we did, of course, jinx him earlier, and he hasn't had the best of seasons. So, you might have just ended this race there. I'm just letting you know right now.
I'm quite bad for commentators' curses, haven't I? I do them a lot. I did
me
4
too,
at Legend last week. Yes, yes, I said he was going to win 4 times on the stream last week. So, we'll have to wait. Hence why I haven't said it yet. But we'll have to wait and see. Here comes Jurgens Meyer, getting past Nils Hartel. This is the problem at the Red Bull Ring, at Saudi Arabia, at many another circuit. You just can't drop cars out of your DRS. It's so difficult. Although Legend's giving it a very good go at the front right now.
Yeah, it is so difficult to do that. And surely when you've got Vesta Gabati behind you, someone who's this consistent. I mean, he hasn't... Well, of course he has made mistakes, but not that big. And he is still in that second gap. That must be a fly or a mosquito in the room of Legend at this point, because I would for sure be annoyed. That is a weird slide from the, I believe, left of Atari there that cost Legend some time there, which is also a threat, of course. The left cars, now that I think of it. But yeah, back to the story of the mosquitoes. There's one mosquito in the ear of Legend, and that is a Vesta Gabati, and it looks like he's not going away anytime soon.
As Tim Denhire makes his second stop in this race, he comes out in 14th. Which, I mean, he can still fight from there. We'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, this is unlike the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Unlike the Cheltenham Gold Cup, this is a 2-horse race up the front.
Yep.
Cheltenham Gold Cup is a horse. Oh, you're a gambler, God, you know what it is. Luke Davies is out of this one, unfortunately, but he is being hunted down by a good friend. Tyler Davison is going for another 3rd place. He is the permanent owner of 3rd place this season in Formula Virtual Racing and in all of his various other league races. Took part, of course, in the Formula Student in the UK for British and Irish universities. Finished 3rd in that. He has 3 3rd places this season in FVR. He finished 3rd in Brazil and got a post-race penalty, meaning if he was to finish 3rd today, he would have only finished 3rd on track this season in FVR in any race he's done.
Now that is an interesting statistic. I would have never thought about that. Enzo King on the move in the meantime on Cam Dulger, and that is already been done. That was quick. The overspeed on some of these cars is making me question one thing, Evan, and you probably have the answer for that. Is there a big difference between the yellow flags in the meantime?
No, it's Morris Schumer.
Oh,
unlucky for Morris. Unfortunately, him and Adrian have both had a very similar race.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl, what was your question?
Yeah, if there is a big difference in downforce between these cars. I know there is, of course, this track is not that high in downforce, but I do know some of these drivers have a driving style which prefers a high downforce setup. So do you think there is a major difference in that, noting the overspeed as well that we've seen?
Yeah, potentially. I know, just on your point that some drivers like more downforce, Can Duggar is very successful in a Formula 2 car. So he would maybe be used to cars that are set up to have, I suppose, less grip, less, they chuck you about a little bit. Enzo King is sort of a maestro in smooth driving. As we look to the turn 4 right hand, you can see very smooth, one movement in and out. That's because he races on a controller, so he's going to have to set up cars with a lot of downforce, because you can't have a car that chucks you about easily. This could be a problem here for Enzo, or sorry, not Enzo, Legend and Avesta. This is now become a Le Mans race. They're now cutting through lap traffic. As you can see, Legend gets past over. Technically, the lap cars are supposed to pull out of the way, but cars receiving blue flags sometimes put their ego before their, I suppose, what they're supposed to do. Tyler battling with Thomas. Thomas fancies going up to 4th here. If I'm Thomas and Tyler, I am not battling. If I'm the team principal of AlphaTauri, Franz Tost, who not anymore, but technically in this season he was, I'm getting on the blower to Ferrari saying, Tommaso, stick behind, because we will slowly catch Luke in front, as that is unfortunately a yellow flag for one of the Alpine. No, it's a Williams, that is. Was that Philip Engel who went round? No. That was Nathan Marriott who went round.
Yep, that was a weird one. I don't really notice any damage on there. Oh, I do know. Oh, that's no wing. And see,
Okay,
that's
so
his complete
sustained
race.
damage.
He was doing well, considerably well. Not in the points, but doing well. And
He was
now
battling with a lot of
races-
cars. Oh, that is a Red Bull soapbox at the Red Bull ring. In a Williams livery, but it is, there's no turning on that. That's going to be a trip to the pits.
Yeah, but Tina Turner once said you can't drive with a wing in Spielberg. So yeah, he's gonna follow.
Oh
that
yeah, I'm
one
sure
and,
she did, to be fair.
Yeah, she was a big race fan. Do you know that?
He's rolling down the pit lane.
You just keep convincing me you have a picture on your wall of her. Come on, man, admit it.
I don't. That's really weird. The only
One day.
right beside me, I have Sir Jackie Stewart, Ayrton Senna, Daniel Ricciardo, and Lando Norris, and me. And me. That's it.
I smell some lies. I'm just gonna say it right now.
I can put a camera on after the race if we want to debunk this. But lap 29 of 36. Gap is very much increasing between Luke Davies and Avesta Gobadi. It's absolutely not between Tyler Davis and Luke Davies, because here we go. The two Brits are going to go scrapping up towards turn number 3. They had a battle in the last lap in Montreal, which saw Tyler take P3. Can he take P3 here in turn 3 at the Red Bull ring? Davies still keeps the car inside. Bit of a push onto the curb from Luke Davies. These two have got to be careful that Thomas Main doesn't... For now, and heading down towards the right hander, here comes Davison. Bit of a wheel bang between the pair. Luke Davies stays in front for the time being. Tyler Davison has to sit behind. Apologies if my mic cut out there for a little bit, as actually Enzo King retires from the race. What's that for, Kyle?
No clue. That was a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he just completely left the race. He was in the points.
And Timden Hire has reported his PlayStation's crashed, so hopefully we can get Tim back in, because he is still running in the points. Kyle, if you could pop Tim an invite, actually, that would be greatly appreciated, because we just got to stick with this battle for third. This could be crucial in the way this race goes. Tyler has... apologies, my microphone keeps cutting out. I'm not too sure why. It just does this a little bit. But Between the two, thanks for coming in, Kyle, when my mic wasn't working. Tyler Davison hits Luke Davies in towards turn number 3. Thomas Main now in towards the battle, trying this one. Thomas wants the grass in towards turn number 4. Look at this for a fight. Davison now to the outside of Luke Davies. Almost completely took himself and his rival out of competition with that move in towards turn number 3. He tried his traditional dummy. It didn't work on that occasion. Probably the first time it hasn't worked. And almost taking himself and Luke out of that one. That was sketchy.
That was really sketchy. I missed everything there as I just realized I don't have Tim on my friend list, so he's gonna have a major problem when joining back quickly. And he only has 6 seconds left before his EI car gets overtaken. So he needs to really step up the... he needs to add me quickly. Then we can move on for that one.
Here we go,
there's
though.
a battle between Tyler Davies and... Oh, sorry.
Tyler Davison and Luke Davison. Here we go, up towards turn 3 again. Lap 31 to 36. I think Davison's going to hold back for now. I think he knows what Luke is going to play. Luke, that's moving in the braking, but Davison does not care. Up to the inside goes the Alpha Tauri. That is job completed for now, but can he get the exit? There is a lapped car that is providing Davison with the DRS to allow him to defend in towards the Schloss Gold. The Alpha Tauri, after 3 attempts, has made it pay. He's up to 3rd, a position that he owns in Formula Virtual Racing. Davison's up onto the podium at the Red Bull Ring, and he's got to try Ganter off into the distance and stay ahead of Luke Davies for now. But there may be a report going in for dangerous driving on Tyler for that move, but we'll have to wait and see. Now it is the Davies main show once again. This will be the 3rd consecutive week we'll see those two battle out on track, although it's not for a win this time, it's for 4th position. However, I think this will be the battle for the podium for the remainder of the race. The top 2 are in a world of their own, and they're both literally just managing this race until the end of it. They've both got full tanks of ERS. I think Avesta has to try keep this within 0.3 of a second, as Legend actually runs a little bit wide there, but I can't imagine he's going to go for the race lead at this point. Is Davies able to fight back? No. These lapped cars are helping out Tyler very much so. That is Yaf and Pinguru is one of the lapped cars. I'm not sure who the other one is, as Tyler is going to overtake it now. I think that's the Williams of Nathan Marriott.
Yellow flags in the meantime. I don't... Okay, phew, that was Adrian Taishi. Oh, he's had a terrible race now that I think of it. Anyway, I was about to point out that the battle between P3, 4, and 5, Thomas Main has totally caught up to this pack and is also, well, he's not fighting the battle, but he's entering it slowly, I should say. Back to Adrian Thijs, though, that is a horrendous race, really. Let's hope that gets better soon.
Adrian is 1:23 off 17th place, and I'm not going to mention it again because there's no point to just put a dark cloud on what's already not been a great evening for Adrian. It's yeah, he's got to try and improve on that for next week. It's just not a track that suits him here today. It suited him in the past, but not today, unfortunately, for Adrian Tushy. He's going to have to try again another week. Avesta is right close to Legend here. This could absolutely be a ding-dong to the end of this race, because remember, Avesta is going to have the DRS come the last lap, presumably, unless Legend starts playing the Luke and Thomas games and plays a little bit of DRS chicken, but we will have to wait and see, as Legend is starting to pull away a little bit. I wonder, has he noticed maybe a few errors in Avesta's driving and he decides he doesn't want to leave this to the last lap? We'll have to wait and see.
I definitely think he doesn't want to make it last to the last lap anyway. I do notice one thing in his driving style right now is that he brakes way later than Avesta does. It always looks like he outbrakes himself, but suddenly that car just has this snap pinch moment where the car steers in. Have you... well, I definitely recommend watching it through these corners he's going through right now. See him just... You can just see him fly straight through it and then just seal past and have a better exit all the time.
See, if Legend drives his car like it's a go-kart, he uses the brakes to rotate it. That's something very unique. His rear tires must be way worse than anyone's, but he does use his brakes to help rotate the car around, and clearly works because he's magnificently quick. Luke Davies not able to get the move done on Tyler Davison, but it's not something that you see rarely, but it does always look like Legend is slightly out of control. He's absolutely in control. And he is burning his battery. They both are. They're both building up for a titanic conclusion to this Austrian Grand Prix. Vesta cannot afford a single mistake from here to the end.
No, you can't, and he needs to even get closer, because it seems Legend still is better on these exits. This is just a really weird game that we're seeing right now, a really tactical game as well. He needs to get a step on. That is, and that is, even though he's really fast today, he still needs to put on that extra step.
Here he goes, he's going to go for it. Yes, Rosenberg has to defend the inside of Estegobardi, tries the outside in towards turn number 3. Launches his intention to attack early, but cannot afford to lose too much time with this attack because it may cost him in the long run. Thomas Main gets the job done on Luke Davies, but Gobardi still going for this one. Now we can turn our eyes to the battle for the podium. Davison's got to be careful here because now he's got Main burning his battery behind. Here comes Thomas Main looking for this one in towards turn number 4. No, he's not going to go for it. But this is going to be an unbelievable conclusion to not just this race, but the year in Formula Virtual Racing. It's a mistake from Avesta. That could cost him here because he's going to have to burn some battery to get back close to Legend Rosenberg. And that might leave him in a bit of a battery deficit. No, still fairly even. 0.6 of a second separates the mighty Legend Rosenberg and the unbelievable Avesta Gobardi onto the last lap of the Season 11 Austrian Grand Prix. Who is going to win this one? Is it going to be Rosenberg or Gobardi? Both heading up the 63.5 meter elevation change in towards turn 3. Here is Avesta Gobardi going for this one. Goes for the inside in towards turn number 3. No, it's a horrible attempt. Gobardi completely outbreaks himself and squanders a first race win of the season. Rosenberg is tactically exceptional and has absolutely masterclassed this one. He got the switch to the inside, sent Avesta to the shops. The switchback was unbelievably placed from Legend Rosenberg, and he just has to make sure there's no errors to the end, and he will win the Austrian Grand Prix. He's not had it all his own way, mind you, has Legend Rosenberg, but this is what he wanted. After a disastrous Monte Carlo, the hills are alive with Dutch dominance. Legend Rosenberg wins the Season 11 Austrian Grand Prix. It's 3 for the season for the mighty, mighty Dutchman. The battle for the podium still rages on. Davison will come home in another third of the season. Apologies. Thomas Main will beat Luke Davies on this day. They're tit for tat in that one. Philip Engel will come home 6th. Jack Redmond is going to take 7th. That penalty will matter not, and he will take an impressive 7th position. And then it'll be Leroy Vincendel who'll come home for some points in 8th. And the rest have already finished this one. Jurgens Meyer picking up the final point. I believe Jake Marsh got a fastest lap.
That is an insane ending. That was so good up until that point, and then Avesta just locked up and went straight on that. That was weird because he had a back straight left of a possible move.
That was a poor attempt. That was a really poor attempt
as well.
He broke way too late.
Yeah,
that was a bloody good race.
Oh, that's for sure. That's one thing you could definitely say, because these guys have been insane nonetheless. So props to these guys, honestly. That was a hell of an entertaining one.
Really, really good. Really, really good. Here it is though. Legend Rosenberg is back on top in Formula Virtual Racing. He never left. He just parked it in the Nouvelle Chicane for a while. As Jonathan Jurgens said, he pulled over to make sure he didn't interfere with the battle for the race win.
Oh, sorry. He never left. He just parked in the Nouvelle Chicane.
Yeah, is that not never let bro cook again?
I just almost choked on my lemonade, man. Oh wow.
As a bit of complaints from the drivers about the lapped cars, as yeah, that was a real problem though, wasn't it? The lapped cars were a bit of an issue.
Yeah, definitely. They were in the way of everyone. I could definitely not... Even I couldn't notice the difference between them, so that was irritating or frustrating.
Although,
so we should look into that.
Like, look at that. Legend and Avesta lapped everyone up to the top 10. which is incredible. But your top 10 results, it is Legend Rosenberg, of course, who wins with a race time of 14 minutes and 38 seconds. Vestigobadi then takes second position ahead of Tyler Davison, Thomas Main, Luke Davies. Then it is Philip Engel, Jack Redmond, Leroy Vincendal, Cam Dulger, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and then Nathan Marriott. Then it was Niels Hartel, Yathan Penguru. Actually, just a big shout out to Yathan. That's P13 after 2 weeks in hospital. A huge shout out to Yathan for that one. Then it was Bob here and Julius Gassner, Tim Denhire, Jake Marsh, and then it was Adrian Tishy, Enzo King, and Morris Stumer. We're going to go for some post-race interviews. Legend is going to join us in a second. Actually, I've just realised we can't do interviews because the commentary box isn't working.
That is I mean, we could give it a shot or... Well, that's up to you, really. But
no, it's okay. We'll get some text interviews after the race. So that means make sure to follow our Instagram pages and our Twitter. But Kyle, 2023, we won't look at it as a whole. We'll just look at it as that singular Austrian Grand Prix. What's your thoughts on that one?
That was an insane race, and I do think it's going to be one for the books. That battle between the leaders, the Vestigobadi, of course, consistently staying on that pace. And that pace, with that pace, I mean Legend Rosenberg's pace. Some of these drivers are actually just impressing me all time around with their driving styles and the way they handle these cars. So and this race has just proved it again. I completely loved the race from the beginning to the end. We had some unfortunate drivers, we had some lucky drivers, we had incidents, we had a great battle for P1 up until the last lap. We had even a wrongful move being done there. It just was everything, and that was a banger ending to I should say the year.
Yes, it was a great way to end it, I think, and a big thanks to you as well, because great support on this stream actually. Numbers well up from previous weeks, so a huge thanks to that one. As Tim's putting questions in this, Tim, we just said we're not doing interviews, but nonetheless, a big thank you from me for supporting Formula Virtual Racing in 2023. We're not really going to go anywhere because we'll still be posting on our socials and stuff, but we will return in the new year, of course, to conclude the Season 11 Championship. We're exactly halfway through the season. We return to Stavolo for the Belgian Grand Prix, then we go to Monza, Silverstone, Marina Bay, Losail, and Yas Marina. Hopefully, we've Kyle joining us back for the rest of the season for different races here and there. But Kyle, a big thanks once again for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I enjoy this thoroughly, and I do enjoy all the support I've been getting. So thank you to you guys as well, watching the stream, tuning in, giving feedback. That is always appreciated. And the positive feedback has, of course, thrown me into this new world of commentary, which I really like. Even though I'm doing it with some weird guy, it's fun to do. So yeah, thank you to you as well, Evan. Your input in this league and the way you run this league is insane. The hard work you do for it. So that should be mentioned as well, as we head to our holiday, our little break from racing.
How the hell did he call me a weird guy and then lead into that? That was really impressive, Kyle. You're learning the trade here.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Thank you very much, folks, for joining us for the Austrian Grand Prix and for all of Season 11. We'll be back in the new year for Round 7 around the, where do I say, Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Folks, we're going to leave you once again with a word from our title sponsors. Bye-bye.
Luke Davies, in an unbelievable fashion, wins his second career Monaco Grand Prix. Luke Davies takes it again in star-studded and dramatic fashion.
This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.